Could you talk to something that you on a regular basis or have to occasionally coach your stakeholders on?
So there are many things that we coach our stakeholders on. I mean, things like just roles and responsibilities within a project is kind of a really important thing to do. One of the key things, it's something that as PMO members we always know that. We always talk about the triangle, the scope, schedule, budget triangle, and if you're kind of in later versions of that, adding quality as another measure. But that sort of concept that there's this continuous trade-off between those things, and that you can drive one or two of them, but you can't drive all three at the same time, is kind of an important thing that I think business stakeholders don't often get. And so
flexibility. I'm sorry? Needing that flexibility.
Yes. And I would say that kind of one of my favorite references with respect to that is a book called The Mythical Man-Month. It was written in the late 1960s by a man who had been at an IBM project to create the operating system called 360. And that project had originally been scheduled, I think, for like 2 years. And it took him a total of 5 years to complete that operating system. And one of the things that he talks about in that is the idea that if you are getting behind in a project and you want to try and figure out how to speed it up, adding new resources to a project actually will make the project more late rather than less late. And he goes through a really interesting kind of graphical proof of that that talks about a couple of different facets that make that true. One is, of course, that by bringing new people onto a project, you have to then bring those people up to speed. So you're diverting your existing resources away from the project to now bring on the new people and to train them into the roles. So you're actually diminishing the output of your regular existing staff. The other thing that you're doing is kind of the larger a project organization gets, you're creating larger and more abundant communications overhead among the team. You know, if you're a team of 5 people, you get away with sitting around at the table in a room. If you're a team of 50 people, then you're spending a ton of your time just talking to each other
and making sure. And
the number of communication channels really multiplies, and that slows down the project, even if you were to bring on people that didn't need to be trained. And so it's a very interesting result from that book. I highly recommend that book to anybody. It's a kind of a great learning for us as project managers, how to be able to talk about why you don't want to bring on more resources when you're running behind.
Yeah, you have to be really careful in the number of resources you add. You want to be effort driven and be able to, add enough resources to potentially speed up some of the work, but there becomes a point in time where if you add too many resources, you're actually slowing the project down. I think that's a great example, and that book really illustrates that concept really well. So.
Yeah.